with his trainer, Eddie Reynoso, wearing black with white, also weighing in at 167.6 pounds. In his professional career, 54 victories, including 36 big wins by knockout, only one defeat with 2 draws, and he's undefeated for 6 years, and considered by many to be, pound for pound, the best in the world. He's the former 2-time light middleweight world champion, former middleweight world champion, former light heavyweight world champion, the reigning, defending super middleweight champion of the world, damas y caballeros de Guadalajara, Jalisco, México, representando al gran campeón, Saúl Canelo.
Thanks to those joining me live and to those that'll be joining me on archive. DStyleBoxing here. If you like the content, make sure you subscribe and hit that bell button. That way you're notified every time DStyleBoxing goes on live. Down in the comment section, if you're watching on archive, you let me know, are you down with HCP? You know me. And also let me know what you think about this and all that good stuff. Shout out to the chat. Shout out to the chat. Shout out to the chat. Bruce Goes, how's it going? Jesus Sam, Joyce Tacom is definitely going to happen. We talked about it this week. Chicano Prophet, saludos. Jesus Sam, how's it going, brother? And DJ Mexicano de Tejas, usually beating everybody to the punch and being first so many times, you know. Now, this week, ladies and gentlemen, this week should be the week, right? Weekend, I should say. The weekend. This weekend should be the weekend that we get the big fight. It should be the weekend where we all anticipate this trilogy. Even the ones that say they didn't want it, they wanted it. Everybody wanted this fight for different reasons, but everybody wanted it. I can tell. Right? Are there some, that were party poopers? Obviously. Need I remind everybody that throughout the whole process since last year, when supposedly Fury and AJ agreed to fight, but there was no paperwork, to nothing happening for months, to every week being told, oh, it is imminent, any moment now it's going to happen. Kind of reminds me of, try to think of this, right? Have you ever known somebody, or maybe you're one of these people, I don't know, but have you ever met somebody and they tell you, you're like, hey, where are you? Right? They got to meet you somewhere. They got to pick you up. You're on your way somewhere. Or they're late to whatever the event, to the party, to the quinceañera, to the wedding, to whatever it is, to the dates, right? Hey, so do you want me to go pick you up, or where are you right now? Oh, I'm just down the street. Okay, you hang up. Well, that street they told you is 30 minutes away, and it's been 15 minutes, right? So it gets awkward. Then you call, right? By the way, shout out to Chicano Prophet and Johnny Blaze being members of the show. I definitely appreciate you guys. You guys can join and support the channel for as low as 99 cents a month. I know you got 99 cents lying around somewhere, but collectively it could help support the channel immensely. And for those that are members, man, and I have a good amount, I want to thank you guys. It goes a long way. Round one episode, hit the like button. So you know those people, right? Why can't they just be honest? Why can't they just tell you, to be honest, man, I haven't even left the house yet. To be honest, I haven't even taken a shower yet. So I still got to shower, still got to get ready. Then step outside, turn on the car, and then start driving. No need to tell you they're down the street. And I feel that that's what was happening with this Joshua Fury situation. There's people telling us, oh, we're just down the street, but they hadn't even left the house yet. And they never had any intentions of picking up the keys and turning on that ignition and going anywhere. And if they did, it was going to be somewhere else. That's how I feel they treat us boxing fans so many times. We're told, oh, it's just down the street. Any moment now, it's going to happen. And it almost never happens. There's so many factors in the sport. Mike from Boston, how's it going? Hit my like button, guys. Share this video on all your social media platforms. That's how they treat us boxing fans. We are like, it's not an accident that we're the most jaded fans out there in any sport. It's not an accident that so many boxing fans are so negative. That's not by accident. So I have taken the initiative to stop talking about the symptoms of everything. That's what I feel people do. They should look at the symptom of something and they attack it, right? That's what they do. Instead, I want to go to the root of the issue and place some blame as to why we don't get the big fights more often than not. We got some big fights. I'm looking forward to Pacquiao Spence. I think that's a great fight. I'm looking forward to hopefully Canelo Plant being signed, according to Ryan O'Hara from The Ring. It's pretty much a done set deal. I have a video up about that. You guys can check that out. But I want to know, I want to ask to everybody watching, who's to blame for all of this? And I have several things, and a lot of it is cause and effect, and it's circular, okay? That's what it is. First, we need to start with the fans. Oh, no, why us? Because we don't reward the correct things. We don't focus on the correct things. We don't. We focus on things that really don't matter. We should be focusing on making great fights. We should be focusing on the best fighting the best. We should be focusing on creating stars and superstars. With that comes, we need exposure, right? But we don't focus on those things. We just don't. Fans say they want the best fighting the best, but they really don't. They just don't want that. They say they do, but you all don't. Now, it doesn't all fall on you, but then promoters, people that run boxing see all these things, right? And they see that, well, fans don't reward fighters that test themselves, so therefore they look a little vulnerable. So we're going to protect them, right? We're going to protect them. We're going to cherry pick. We're going to make them look good because that's what the fans want. And then what happens? Boxing fans complain that guy is cherry picking because we see the obvious. And boxing fans love to be negative. So boxing fans are going to find the negative in everything anyway. So if you give them something negative, they're going to double down on negativity. All right, Ness, I got you. Give me a second. You know what? It's a lot easier to just do this. Just click on it on the chat right there. I don't want to And lastly, the fighters. But it's all cause and effect, right? How much blame is left on the fighters when they can see? Like, you don't think boxers look at these things? You don't think they see Jermell still getting trashed by some fans and pundits and say to themselves, should I take these risks? And if my wants to click on the link as well, go ahead. I'm going to be very selective, guys, on who I let in, by the way. Just saying. This is gonna go up on the podcast, so I just want to make sure the audio is good. Okay. But I threw the link out there in the chat for convenience. But um, how much blame is really left on the fighters, and what does it say about in this culture of things about a fighter like Saul Canelo Alvarez, who is taking some of the best challenges? Now, somebody might say, and I know a lot of the rebuttals. I know what they are. It doesn't change what is, though, but I get it. Oh, Canelo is an A side. He can fight whoever he wants. He gets to select whoever he wants. He gets to do. Okay, fine. But at the end of the day, isn't there more power to that? And no one's forcing him to take these fights, but he's taking them anyway? What does that say? But a lot of us need to stop blaming fighters as much as we do. And I'm including myself to a certain degree. Because there's not much blame left for the fighter once we pass the blame around. What's going on, Ness?
What up? What up? What up? What's going on, man?
I'm just having some reflections and just decided to reflect and speak.
What are we reflecting on?
You know, well, I was pondering, I was thinking, and I said to myself, aren't us, and maybe you disagree, I don't know, are the fans, do we, have some of the blame with a lot of the problems the sport has, in your opinion? Like, do you think boxing fans, or let me ask this instead, and maybe that'll lead to your answer. When boxing fans say, I want the best to fight the best, do they really?
Not really, because when it's your favorite fighter that we're debating, then you want him to get the best payday, or you want him to be coddled, or you want him to be safe, or you want it to be fair, or maybe he should get a catch weight. You know how it is.
Right. Yeah. Plus, isn't there a lot of boxing fans have a very glass half empty attitude instead of glass half full? So after the Castaño fight with Jermell, I feel like when in MMA, I know that's a bad word around these parts, but when they have a great fight, you see them celebrating it all over social media. Oh, what an amazing fight. This is what MMA is all about. This is why, we're getting so popular and we're growing and this and that, right? But in boxing, a lot of boxing fans, for whatever reason, they make it about, oh man, Jermell is he got exposed, and oh, Jermell's not as good as he is. What do you mean he's top pound for pound? He struggled against this Castaño guy. Instead of that, I would think anyway, in any other sport, fans would instead say, man, what a great fight. This Castaño cat is a lot better than I thought he was. Look at all the problems he gave Jermell, who was a great fighter. People choose to create a narrative that is very negative, and I think people on the outside looking in look at that and say, well, I guess not a lot of good shit's happening in boxing. They're still complaining.
I just feel like, it's an individual sport. There's only one man opposite from each other, but it's really a team sport. Not only does each fighter have their corner, but they have their fanatics. And just like any fan of any sport, you go at the other team. You go at the other team and you criticize the other team, and you run the other team through the mud. That's just the way that it goes. So I think that you just have to realize this is like the Eagles versus the Jets, right? Is that like a rivalry? Right. There you go.
Well, the Eagles Cowboys, right? Something like that.
Something like that. I don't watch those sports, but the point is that those fans probably don't get along. When they're at the beer line, they're not saying anything nice to each other while trying to get their next beer. So I think it's just the same difference. For us, Jermell and Castaño fought. Fans of each are gonna say what's on their mind, and fake fans of the same fighter. Jermell might have had some fans where they even thought they were fans of Jermell, and then he puts on this performance and they jump off the bandwagon immediately and show their true colors. It's a fickle sport. The fight fans are very, very fickle. It's what have you done for me lately? And Jamel, if you're talking lately, he didn't do what was expected.
Right. Well, there's also so are you saying that there isn't just fight fans, like boxing fans that just don't really fanboy or cheer for one fighter in particular, right? They just kind of just witness the sport, just watch it, and whatever happens, they kind of just go with it, right?
I'm sure those unicorns exist. I don't know where they're at.
Man, you call them unicorns, okay? So he's saying that they're bluffing,
We're all emotional,
right?
We're all attached, I don't know any fight fan that's like down the middle. Like everyone secretly is rooting for someone. You have to be. Why?
Right.
Like, why are you watching this sport? It's only one man can win. So if you're saying that that makes no sense to be neutral. Only one guy can win.
Well, you can definitely, like me, I openly said, and before the fight, I said, look, guys, I'm rooting for Castano, right? I want Castano to win, right?
But
I was very transparent about that.
Panic. I'm sure people expected that from you because panic calls him panic, right? You don't think so?
Well, yeah, I'm sure people expected that, but I also feel like I said it just so there's no, like, I don't like to pretend like, oh, I'm totally neutral. I don't care who wins. May the best man win. Like, I'm not the ref. Like, you know what I mean? So I don't need to do that. I'm not a judge in the fight, so I don't need to do that, right?
Mm-hmm.
I could be a fan of the sport, and I could be a fan of a fighter because I do believe having an invested interest on someone makes the fight more exciting. It makes it more fun to watch. But I guess what I'm still getting at is someone could be a fan or root for a fighter, but at the same time, not be so negative about the sport as a whole, though. You know what I mean? I feel like boxing fans like complain so much about things, right? Yet we're still around like battered wives, I guess, right? Like we still stick around. But the point I'm getting at is why the glass half empty attitude. Like if you're a Jermel fan, why are you gonna like what benefit is there to trash Castano? The better Castano is, the better it makes Jermel look, right? And vice versa. You would think.
It depends what kind of fan you are, man. If you're just the type of fan, a little bit of a narcissist, and you want to be right, you just want to be right. You don't want to big up Castano. You just want to say, I told you Jamel was gonna whoop his ass. You know what I'm saying?
Well, he didn't whoop his ass. Like,
He didn't whoop his ass.
Like nobody whooped anybody's ass in that fight. That was a great fight. Jermel whooped his ass in the 10th, though. But other than that, hey, thank you for that membership, brother. Much appreciated. You guys can join, of course.
No doubt, man.
You know,
If
it's 99 cents.
you're not a member, I didn't go with the 99 cent, man. I'm not broke, man.
Okay, I don't know.
I went with
a Red Dragon. Okay, all right, got you.
A little bit more, so that people to motivate others. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
We haven't talked as much, as of late, but now that we're talking, like you actually know a lot about this YouTube shit. In the little bit of time we've been communicating, you've showed me one or two tools that I had no clue of. So yeah, man, becoming a member is the smallest or the least thing that I can do.
Absolutely, it's much appreciated. So I get that every sport has fans of teams of this, of that. I get all that, right? So boxing is going to be no different, and I don't want it to be any different. I don't want a bunch of dudes pretending they're neutral, right? Watching the sport, and we're all playing pretend and pretending that we don't care who wins or none of that, right? But I still feel like where I draw the line, Ness, is when you start to protect the fighter, right? When it starts becoming like that's my favorite fighter, and I don't want him to fight this guy, and this guy. I want to protect the zero. I want him to stay undefeated, right? That's where I draw the line.
I'm a victim of that. I definitely like to guide certain careers, like, ooh, don't put him in with that guy right now, or maybe he shouldn't go against that guy just yet. And I don't know. I guess I am protecting certain O's because I understand the significance of it pre and post Mayweather. And I also understand that it's becoming more and more difficult for this generation's fighters to deal with losing with that loss. Just think about some of these undefeated fighters when they suffer that first loss, how long they're out the ring. Like, bro, I mean, look at my interview with Danny, right? I think he was saying it too. Like, they go to dark places when they lose. We had Lamano on the show. He went into a dark place after losing to, Laura. I mean, imagine you having the best camp of your life in your opinion, and then all of a sudden someone taps you on the chin and all that work you did goes out the window because the fight's over. It haunts you. You got to be beating yourself up because you got your family, your kids, everybody supporting you, waiting for this magnificent performance. And it's like, yo, you're knocked out. So, that O is so important. I do guide people like, all right, this Mexican, I'm going to take this chance to cheap plug a fighter I don't work with, but I mean, he's Mexican and Puerto Rican and he's in the heavyweight division.
El Veneno?
No, Veneno is Puerto Rican and Cuban.
Oh, that's right.
And he's 130. That's the lightweight. This guy is Mexican and Puerto Rican. I've never heard of a fighter Mexican and Puerto Rican.
And a heavyweight.
And he's a heavyweight. His name is Amacio Jimenez. And brain fire. I forgot why we were even bringing him up. Lord.
Who cares? Just promote him. Promote him. What's up with him?
I mean, he's going to be a star. I mean, just the fact that he's Mexican and Puerto Rican, I mean, that's huge in boxing. It's a rivalry, but it's two huge fan bases that really support their fighters. He speaks fluent English and Spanish, and he brings in both flags. He's so conscious of what's going on. I mean, it's a shame. He only has like 253 followers on freaking Instagram, but hopefully he gets picked up by a major, bro. He won the Golden Gloves at 16 and he has 13 national championship wins. Not been to the Nationals 13 times, won the Nationals 13 times. So I'm excited for him, man. I'm really, really excited for him. And so the point of bringing him up, it came to me, was protecting the O. That's what I'm saying, D Styles. If I give you Amacio Jimenez, the first Mexican Puerto Rican heavyweight,
right,
are you throwing him in with Mike Coffey tomorrow?
No, I mean, I think the way you manage a prospect, right, is a little different than when you're already like in the mix, right? Like I think, so what I mean by that is, okay, I could understand how, like, right now people are in a rush to throw Virgil in there with a Crawford, right? And I wouldn't be against the fight, but it's
a duck after the whole ESPN segment. Did you see the ESPN State of Boxing segment?
I did not, but is that why people are calling him a duck on Twitter?
Well, Mark Kriegel comes out and reveals that Virgil Ortiz turned down the fight with Crawford. Now, obviously, someone needs to interview Virgil because this is how I look at it. How do you turn down a fight with Crawford when you have one already scheduled with Cav Velasquez? Now, Kriegel is not specifying whether or not he was offered this fight with Crawford before the Cav Velasquez fight was official. But as it looks to you and I, Cav Velasquez was signed, sealed, and delivered for quite some time. They've been promoting it. I mean, I've seen posters. DAZN sent me emails. So it just seems fishy. But yes, he's being called a duck now because obviously the WBO had to stop at him, number one, before they got to Porter, number two. And if Porter doesn't want it, then they go to Mikey, number three.
Oh, man. Poor Mikey if that happens. But
I mean, that's a great fight for Mikey, though. I mean, if you want.
Yeah, for Mikey it is, yeah. He could get back in the mix. I mean, that's for sure. Right
back in the mix. I mean, for all of them, I think Crawford versus all three of those top three names, Virgil, I think he's not ready. We're talking protecting the O, just to go back to your topic. I would do what Golden Boy did. If they did say, no, let's take Velasquez fight to see how you do with a common opponent, I would have agreed with that. I don't think he's ready for Crawford just yet. Let's see what he does with Velasquez. I believe Velasquez dropped Crawford, so let's see how you take the punch of a Velasquez.
Yeah, that's how I feel. Like he's not in the mix yet, Virgil. Like Virgil is still being. I know he's a top contender, but he hasn't even become a world champion yet. Like he hasn't become a titleist yet. Like I do believe in fighters being managed and taking that leap of faith. That's what it is when you go for it. You know what I mean? But I do believe in. They should have a right, like the management, everybody, to be calculating with that before they take that big leap of faith. There's a leap of faith to a certain degree with the Mean Machine. I can't pronounce his name, like you can, but yeah, I'm not even gonna try. But yeah, like that. So I'm okay with that. You know what I mean? So in that example, I'm 100%. By the way, we got to get this cat on HCP on Tuesday. You know what I mean? I'm all for it. I know we already talked about it behind the scenes, but
who? Marcel?
Yeah, for sure.
Oh hell yeah! I mean, I don't work with him, but I'm still gonna do my part, man. I've never seen it, and he's such a nice guy. A lot of family support. We'll see how far he gets, man. We'll see. I just want him to get noticed so that he can be protected and taken to the right level before they let the leash off him, Get him some Derek Rossies under his belt, get him some of these guys. the Jared fought. Get him those names before you start throwing them in with former world champs and just guide them properly. That's all.
Yeah, I do agree with that. I do agree with that for sure. Hey, by the way, everybody listening, make sure you hit my like button. All right, make sure you guys do that and share this video, of course. This weekend, Ness, I want to ask you, just curious, how what do you make of it? The fact that we're not getting this fight, like, did you feel it a little bit? Do you feel like this would have been a hot week for the boxing voice, obviously, right? In the lead up to this fight, you know what I mean? Or you're not worried about it?
No, I'm worried. I'm disappointed that we didn't get a resolution. I want resolution. I want to put this to bed. It brings a lot of energy, both positive and negative, and the division is also on hold. If we would have gotten this fight today, AJ's fighting a month later on 2 months later, September 25th. So things would have really gotten, like, for Christmas, who knows if we would have got an announcement, right? Like, boxing could have blessed us with a heavyweight announcement, but we won't get that now. Now we gotta wait. AJ fights September 25th. We'll get his outcome before we get Wilder Fury. If it happens in October 9th, which is, I think, the proposed date, right? I mean, it's the official date. I think they sent out releases already on it, right?
Yes. So for October 9th, I've been critical of Fury throughout the years. This is not like a one-time thing, about how erratic he is, how unpredictable he is. I wasn't a fan of the fact that it was out in the street of Vegas, just the optics of it after the fight was canceled and they said he had COVID. And I just said to myself, what is that?
Did you see his response to being out and about?
I have a general idea of it. I mean, I guess he said something like he was in the clear, right? Like,
yeah, he was in the
doctors told him after a certain amount of days he could be out.
But the funny quote was that he was taking pictures because he felt happy to be out in the sun finally.
Well, what's strange, I guess, about the whole thing is, one, it does debunk the theories out there that were saying, oh, those were old photos. Fury wouldn't do that, right? It debunks that, right, right off the bat, right? So he gave it away. Yeah, he was. And I suspected it was because it was random people on Twitter that were posting it. You know what I mean? That's number one. And he was shaven, which when he accepted the SP award for Fight of the Year that he won, he never fought, but he won it. he was shaven, like clean shaven, right? So it just gave it away. I don't know about you, but like maybe he did get COVID, and I'm suspecting he did. Like I'm pretty sure he got COVID. I just think like he self sabotages things. Fury does. It's just how I feel. All right. Now, it doesn't mean that's what it is. Just my feeling, but there has to be a reason this guy's never defended like the strap. Like
Uh,
I'm just saying,
coincidental?
isn't his energy? His energy is a little different when he's the hunted and not the hunter, right? That's how I feel.
I don't know who's hunted him.
When you're the world champion, when you're the heavyweight champion of the world, everyone's gunning for you. This time, Wilder's the one making the adjustments. Wilder's the one saying, okay, I did this wrong. Now I'm going to do this right. Okay. And Malik Scott kind of alluded to that at the press conference. We got anything, we got that. And now he's gunning for him, right? He's hey, I'm coming back for my strap. I'm coming after you. That's what I mean by like the champion's always the hunted and they have to defend the crown. He's never done it, bro. Like the Klitschko fights didn't happen. Now, if the October 9th fight gets canceled, I don't care how legitimate the reason sounds. I'm forever going to believe this guy doesn't feel comfortable defending a strap and just being the full-fledged favorite going into a fight.
No, listen, I cannot tell you to feel any other way because he does have a track record of fights being canceled or him not defending his title, as you say. I just don't think that anyone puts in as many years in the sport as he has. Remember, he was also a good amateur. At very young, 18 or 19, he went all the way to Detroit, left his family behind to train with Emmanuel Stewart.
Yeah.
It just doesn't make sense what you're saying, that he's going to do all these years of boxing. He's going to get to the highest levels and then say, you know what I'm going to do different from the people before me is to never defend a title. I just think it's coincidental. I think it's coincidental. Honestly. Remember the first pull out to this third fight was Wilder. He was injured. This was supposed to happen July last year, right?
It was actually something like that, but I remember the bicep tear, right? Something like that.
Like some bicep shit. They pushed it back. Then when they pushed it back, it's like they
didn't say anything about the dent, but they just said this is something about a bicep tear. I'm just saying,
Yeah. So they you can't put it all on Fury. Like, yeah, he tried to get out of it, but that first pullback. Date change was from Wilder. We had a tentative July date, and that changed to like September or October. So I don't know, but again, I understand anyone that feels like he'll never defend, and he has never defended. I mean, the writing's on the wall, and then this doesn't add to this only adds to the negativity.
Well, let me add this caveat, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you ever watch his interview with Joe Rogan, or parts of it?
I think I'm pretty much sure I watched it.
Okay, so in that interview, he told Joe Rogan that he was in such a high when he beat Klitschko, right? He felt he achieved like his goal, his dream, and then he fell into a deep depression, right? That's what he said. He said, I had nothing. I didn't feel motivated to fight any of these other guys. I already beaten the best, right? Do you think that he's motivated? Or do you think to fight Wilder a third time? Because I feel like whenever I mention this, people think I'm saying Fury's scared. Like, bro, I don't think Fury's scared of anybody. You know what I mean? It's not about fear. It could be about motivation, about getting up for it, about wanting to do it. It's like, I already fought this guy twice. Yeah. Maybe that's why he was trying to get out of the fight and it had to be taken to arbitration. Not because he's scared of Wilder, but because maybe he's just not up for it, Yeah.
I hear that. But he's still the guy that's quoted saying, 9 times out of 10, he beats Wilder all 10. So they fight 10 times, he beats them all 10 times or something like that. So, that's his quote. So we'll see. We know that he ain't getting out of this fight. He's going to have to retire completely. He won't be getting out of this fight. So,
Man,
we'll see.
do you know if he's this? Because I don't know this. I'm honestly asking if he vacates the WBC title. Does he still have to fight him?
I don't think so. But remember that Tyson Fury, the man, owes the rematch. It's not the WBC that owes Wilder a rematch. So
right, okay,
he might have to fight him per whatever happened in arbitration. But yeah, I don't. If the sanctioning body's strict, that's why I was calling. That's what I was calling for. Take that belt from Fury. Put his ass in champion in recess. He's the one sick and can't defend and fight. And let Dillian White and Wilder fight for that vacant WBC or for.
Could have had to fight this weekend.
We'd have had a fight this weekend. He was allegedly Dillian was willing to step in on 2 weeks, which we all know was bullshit. But he got the publicity buzz he was looking for.
Hey, shout out to Ringside Reporter Live. Subscribe to Ringside Reporter. Check out the show every Sunday. It's actually like right before the Boxing Voice on Sundays. Fury could be subconsciously self-sabotaging himself. It could be part of his mental issues. I mean, he has admitted, Ness, that he has, problems, right? I mean, depression.
Remember the reason he said he beat it, or how he doesn't allow himself to fall back into it, is by staying in the gym. Boxing is what saves him if you let him explain it. And other than this, COVID situation, he's pretty much been in the gym. He's in the Top Rank gym all the time. People have been sparring with him. So, we can say what we want, but he's been getting that work, Look,
at the end of the day, like I said, maybe he did get the COVID. It just happens to be one of those like situations, right? Because you added up with what happened before, but it could be totally coincidental, like you said, absolutely. Yeah. And if he fights Wilder October 9th and does his thing, he will destroy those narratives, right? If he actually does it. So I'll be the first one to come out and say, hey, I was wrong. Fury actually did his thing, right? I mean, but we'll see. I think you feel the same way I feel. Like, I think people that are talking like Wilder has no shot to win are crazy. Like, I think like they're nuts. Like I don't believe them when they say Wilder has no shot.
I also understand them though, right? They got, those are the guys that say, well, he's won 2 rounds and what is it? How many rounds they won? 24 rounds and things like that. So, everyone's entitled to their own opinion. And I can again see how you're a fan of Fury and you've seen him win the draw and then you've seen him stop Wilder. All you can tell yourself is that the third fight would be the same. I see all that. I think it's difficult for him to get a win because from first fight to second fight, Fury has reacted differently to the right hand. The first fight alone, he's reacted like no other man. Everybody else gets hit with a right hand, and they're pretty much done. Wilder, if he doesn't one punch knock you out, you're wobbly, you're dazed, you're not really there, and then he goes wild on you, and the ref stops it. No one's ever reacted like Fury. Not like Fury in the 9th. People get caught up in the 12th, but no one's really gotten up in the like he did in the 9th either. He just did it in the 12th as well. So then you got.
Is that when he did he was looking up at the ceiling or something?
I don't know. I thought that
went down. He kind of went like this, and then he just got back up. I know
the 9th round was when he got clipped in the top of the head with like a left hook. He was trying to duck under a shot. He got hit right on the top of the head and went down. But yeah, man. I mean, I wish we could have this freaking fight tomorrow because the boxing community would have been so excited. It's crazy.
And by the way, thanks to B for that support. Calix Boxing says, I'd rather see Wilder versus White than a trilogy. That's
And
interesting.
the only way we would have got that is, like I said, if the WC would have stepped in. But, you know, look, the fact that Fury's out here taking pictures, they knew that, you know, it was only a matter of time before he's back in the ring. But normally when a champion can't defend, you're supposed to put that sucker on champion at recess, especially someone that's sick from a virus. Like, it's crazy. Devin Haney, you know, he went, obviously he had surgery, but they didn't even contact him, and they were already putting his belt on the line with Ryan and Javier. Had he not stepped in, you know,
Right.
would have been forced to stay in champion in recess. But Fury, they're giving him a lot of
A lot
leeway.
of leeway there. You know what I mean? That's for sure. And now, does anyone want to become champion in recess when they won't reinstate you, like Pacquiao?
Well, that's WBA.
Oh, that's true.
WBC
You're right.
has a rule. WBC has a rule that if you come back
Good point.
and you are fighting a viable opponent, like, you know, there's a possibility if the belt is still vacant that it'll get placed back on the line. Like if Pacquiao would have been a WBC champion in recess, that belt would have been back on the line. It would have, because the Earl Pacquiao fight is such a worthy fight. They would have reinstated the champion.
Yeah, but back to my original point. So, I mean, I understand why people are very, very confident about Fury, not only winning, but dominating, and they're extremely confident that there's no way Wilder could win. I'm favoring Fury to win, but somebody just tells me, man, this fight's going to be the toughest for Fury. Like, I just feel that way. I think, right, like the one thing Fury did in that second fight was blitz Wilder, right? The dude had knees high when the bell first rang and went straight at him. And I think that kind of caught Wilder by surprise. He was like, whoa, you know, like that. He didn't see that coming. But now he doesn't have that wild card. He can't surprise Wilder with that now. Now Wilder knows he could do that. Like he could now be ready for that. And there's a lot of, you know, for athletes, when you're already expecting something, you're better prepared for it, right? Not only that, in the second round, or was it the third? I forget which round it was. When did he first drop Wilder? Was it the second or the third?
I blocked it out.
Yeah, so he hit Wilder behind the ear, and I think it threw his equilibrium off.
Mm-hmm.
So it's already difficult fighting this twinkle toe bear, right? Like it's already difficult fighting this motherfucker. He's big, he's 6'9". Imagine being like wobbly and he survived 5 rounds of that. They had to throw in the towel. He never knocked him out cold.
Are you picking Wilder?
I am not, but I do believe this is going to be a hell of a fight. Like, I think he's in for a fight, bro. Like, this is going to be a fight of epic proportions.
Do you not feel, based off some of the clips that you've seen, especially the recent ones, what sort of impression are you getting? I feel like he thinks he's going to go in there and box and move. That's what it looks like.
I think those are the optics. I think that they're putting what they want us to see, right? Absolutely. When they hit the mitts and stuff, right? But I ask myself, because either they're very, very dumb or they're very, very smart, right?
Oh.
Well, because the way they're hitting the mitts, and I know Joe Hope pointed this out, Malik Scott is stepping back for Wilder so he could shoot the right hand. And like, it's not like Fury's going to come in on the inside and then back up in a straight line for Wilder to land the right hand. It would be stupid to do that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But it makes me wonder if are they really doing that? Like I just don't think that's what it's going to be honest. I think he's going to fight this guy. I think he's going to fight him, bro. I think that's what's going to happen. He's not going to try to box him.
I don't know, man. I don't know that you want to fight Fury, because remember, if you get close enough for him to grab you, you're definitely taking the chance of him wearing you out. It's just too much weight. And we got to believe him now, right? He said he would come in at 275. We didn't believe he'd done it.
I don't know, because he's like a poker player. Like, you don't know if he's bluffing, though.
You're right. You know what I mean? But because he did come in at 275, because he did say, I'm going to knock him out, and knocked him out, I believe he's coming in at 300 the way he says.
Yeah,
I got to see it not to
I
believe
don't,
it.
I don't know one person that believed them. Even people picking them to win. You know,
Listen,
like
he seen that Wilder had an issue. Wilder was under him. Have you seen the still shots of being underneath Fury? Like he couldn't deal with the weight, man. It's a lot of weight.
I think here's the thing. Wilder's been in fights where, in a lot of his fights, he's losing rounds, and then he lands the one of the most devastating punches that has ever existed in boxing. Right, that right hand of his.
Mm-hmm.
It is. Without that right hand, ain't no way this dude accomplishes half of what he did. I honestly believe that. He's a devastating puncher, right?
I
It's
think
like
the hook is underrated, man.
the hook's really good too, but what I'm saying is that like the right's at a whole nother level, though. You
Mm.
know, and that's to his credit. I mean, it's a hell of a right hand. If you fight a puncher, bro, it's like Russian roulette. You know what I mean? Like there might just be one bullet in the chamber, and the better your defense is, the more chambers there are, right? The better fighter you are, the more chambers there are. But when you spin that sucker and then you click on it, at some point the bullet's going to come out. If you keep giving a puncher a shot, if you fight him round after, like he's going to catch you at some point. It's going to happen. And I don't think he's caught him like 100% flush yet. You know, so I can't count Wilder off personally. That right hand alone makes me never count him out. I've seen him clip him and drop him before, so it's not like it's a unicorn to think about it, right? He could do it, but this time, I honestly believe he's going to go in there, he's going to fight Fury, he's going to make it rough and create 50-50 moments in exchanges, like force them and open up for a right hand on the dude. Like I think that's going to be part of the plan.
Nah, I hear you, man. I hear you. But fighting Fury would be the wrong thing. I think, you know, I'm even afraid for him to try to box with Fury, right? Like, again, some of that tape indicates he's going to try and box and move. It's like, do you really want to box with a boxer? I'm not sure. But DStyles, I got to cut out. Check me out at NextGTO, Instagram and Twitter. And you can catch me on The Boxing Voice YouTube channel at youtube.com/The Boxing Voice every morning at 9 a.m. Eastern Time, 6 a.m. West Coast. And that is, I believe, 7 a.m. Central, 8 a.m. Central, excuse me. But shout out to everybody in the chat. I've already hit the thumbs up button. Make sure you do the same. DStyles, thank you again for having me on, brother. And speak to you soon.
Thanks for coming on, brother. And that's from The Boxing Voice, everybody. You know, Rates reporter live, Joe Habib. Wilder's lack of inside game will always be an issue against Fury. Joshua will also have issues as well because of that as well. Wilder needs space. I'm not saying he's going to be fighting him on the inside now. That's what I'm saying. But I think he's going to, you know, he's going to try to make it a back alley brawl a little bit. Like I just, that's what I think. And boxing spots, box in the pocket in spots, you know, because at the end of the day, Fury never go like I don't know if Fury wants to like stay at mid range that long with Wilder. I just don't. He wants to push him back, and I think Wilder needs to do something, create space to shoot that right hand. I'm telling you guys right now, the chances are only going up. That's it. Right. You keep playing Russian roulette with a puncher. At some point, the bullet's going to come out. Like I'm just telling you guys. So, the Void, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, we got Joyce against Takam. I believe the fight's on Fight TV. If you guys want to order it, I'm not too thrilled that I'm paying every month to ESPN Plus, to the Zone, you know, my TV subscription, and none of these suckers have the damn fight. Like I'm kind of disappointed about that. You know, I just am like why doesn't ESPN Plus have the fight? Why not? You know what I mean? Like come on, bro. I'm just saying. So Oliver says he should bum rush Wilder like he did Well, that's kind of what he did. He did it more tactical and behind the jab more against Wilder, but I just think I have a feeling that if Wilder fights him back, grits his teeth, because Fury's going to go back to what he does. He's going to go back to boxing. And that's what I believe. It's going to be a great fight, guys. I'm just telling you right now, it's going to be a great fight. Like, if you love great fights, it's going to be a great fight. I'm telling you right now. I do believe Fury ultimately wins, but it's going to be a great fight. Just saying right now. Jerome says you guys are asking Wilder to turn into Usyk. Well, look, Usyk and Wilder are two completely different styles, and they bring something different to the table, right? What Wilder, in my opinion, should always fight to set up the right hand. Does he need to mix it up more, utilize his hook more, his jab more? Wilder has a very underrated jab. So he should definitely use it. I don't think he's used it enough. That's what I think. Now, there's no easy answer. Look, Fury's a difficult guy to beat and fight. No matter what way you go, there's an answer for it. Oh, no, Fury's a master at boxing on the outside. Oh, Fury's a beast on the inside. Oh, Fury, like I get that, right? But you got to do something. You can't do nothing, right? Can't do nothing, right? And if he did have COVID, how much is COVID going to affect him? We got to think about those things. We have to think about those things, ladies and gentlemen. Feliciano, how's it going? Christian NWO, how's it going? Shout out to Ringside Reporter again. I appreciate the support. That's Joe Habib. Hey, guys, we didn't have a round table yesterday. We did 40 straight weeks of the round table, right? That is actually, believe it or not, the longest streak I have for a weekly show ever, like 40 straight weeks. Like, even HCP had a hiatus here and there, and like 67 episodes, but we didn't do them all consecutively. I think the most was like 24 or something like that. So I had a hell of a run, but now we're going to get ready next week. The roundtable will return, and you guys could catch me on the Boxing Voice. That's where I was on Thursday. They should be releasing the clip soon. Yeah, Tim Zhu on. I asked him a couple questions there, and we had some other discussions as well. Okay, so we had several discussions. We discussed several things. You guys could go ahead and check that out. You know what I mean? Wow. So we will see if Fury shows up October 9th. I'm not saying he's not going to show up. I'm a firm believer in letting things happen if they happen and not if they're not. But we're going to see. Yuta, that's a good point. We don't know Wilder's mental state. I didn't agree with all the stories coming out that the guy was depressed and all that, because that's presupposing, but it's always possible. It's always possible. I ain't gonna say it's not possible. It's just not. How many likes I got? 43 likes. Okay, all right. I could roll with that. I could roll with that. Christian NWO says Wilder definitely has to go to the body more and mix things up. In Wilder's defense, he's usually the taller, longer fighter. He never really had to go down to the body. I do believe going to the body should be priority. After those 7 rounds, I don't know about you guys, Fury looked like he was getting a little tired because he was exerting way more energy than he usually does after 7 rounds. That doesn't mean he wouldn't have went 12 or nothing like that, but what it does mean is that the more fatigued you are, the more tired you are. If Wilder's not on wobbly legs, if Wilder's equilibrium isn't thrown off, Is it stumbling all over the place? Boxing is a sport of milliseconds. It's a sport of milliseconds. The more fatigued you are, the more mistakes you make, the more mental lapses you have. Something to think about. Something to think about. Right there. Freddie Mars, what's going on, brother? I want to thank you for being a member. Of course, everybody's a member. As low as 99 cents a month, you guys can support DStyleBoxing Live. You know what I mean? Maybe he will, but I don't know. Look, now there's something that people have brought that said, oh, well, look, Malik Scott couldn't beat up Fury in training, so how is he going to train him to beat Wilder? Here's the thing. What if Malik Scott sparred with Fury and landed some right hands, even if he got beat up, but he landed some right hands, and he remembers how he set those up, and now he's going to teach a guy who has a more devastating right hand to land it. You know what I mean? Boxing Dialogue, we saw that Casano was getting fatigued in the 9th. They got rocked in the 10th. Good point. It's a really good point. Man, this is a hell of a call. Wilder's going to get knocked out with a counter left hook from Fury if he goes for the kill. In the second fight, he was getting countered even while getting backed up. I think what's important to know, guys, is, and I'm not taking away credit from Fury because he caused it, but the whole fight changed dramatically when he knocked down Wilder. Dramatically. The fight was, you could argue the fight was pretty much over after his equilibrium was thrown off. And you could tell the way he was stumbling back, his balance wasn't there. So him getting countered like often isn't like an accident. So what you have to believe is the following. You're going to have to believe that ding, ding, the bell rings. Fury's going to be just as aggressive. And he's going to land that nice shot that's on the sweet spot all over again early in the fight. And Wilder's equilibrium is going to be off for the rest of the fight. Right? That's what you need to believe. And you have to, what I'm asking people to tell themselves, is that likely? Is that going to happen again? I personally don't think it's likely. I don't. Can it happen again? I guess. But I'm not a deja vu guy. I do believe he will be aggressive. I do believe he might even win rounds. He might even land some good shots on Wilder. But Wilder's still going to be standing. Wilder's still going to be there. And he's not going to be off balance like he was in the first fight. If Fury couldn't even knock him out cold when he was wobbly, when he was off balance, what makes you think he's going to knock him out cold if he's not off balance? That is one of the main things I've been trying to hammer home for months. For months, guys. For months. So, like, it's like this. What are some of the things conspiracy theorists, like hardcore Wilder fans, say about the rematch and why they feel it's suspicious, right? Besides, oh, look at him. I looked at him and I know. Like, besides that, the whole, where did this power come from, right? That is the main thing that they bring up, okay? That is the main thing. And when people are like, well, you give the reasons, but you don't, like, everyone is skipping certain things. So it is true that this time he went to Kronk Gym, he fought on the front foot, landed shots on the front foot, right? It is true that in rematches, while Fury almost always stops, I think always in rematches, beats dudes up, dominates them, and stops them, right? That is true as well. So there's a lot of things working in the favor that goes against the conspiracy. But here's the main one. If you kind of look at the and I disagree with that, Hawker. I don't think Wilder will quit. I just don't. You know, if he does, that would be crazy. But hey, that's a disagreement right there. But look, Deontay Wilder, guys, all right, was hit with a shot. Practically, it was behind the ear, close to the soft tissue in the back of the head. Very similar, by the way, to the first knockdown that Wilder got in the first fight. Okay. Now, a lot of Wilder fanatics are saying, oh, Fury cheated. Now, that's why I pointed that out from the first fight, because it was both the same thing. Okay. It was the same thing with both. So when people say, oh, where did the power come from? Out of nowhere, right? I didn't see a devastating puncher in the ring that night. I just didn't. Yes, he knocked Wilder down, but look at where he punched him. From that moment, his equilibrium was thrown off. And Wilder was on wobbly legs. He was off balance, which is one of the worst things you can experience if you're in a boxing fight. And Fury still couldn't knock him out. He was landing flush on Wilder on the front foot. Harder shots in the first fight. Make no mistake about it. Right? So I'm not taking that away. But this myth that he became a power puncher and all of a sudden he was a power puncher, this power out of nowhere, he must have had an egg weight. Like, yeah, that's retarded, okay? There was no power out of nowhere. He was hitting them flush after flush after flush, and Deontay Wilder was still standing. We all know what happened. Mark Bruton went up the steps and he threw in the towel. Mark Bruton had to throw in the towel. Wilder landed the last punch. He landed a hook on Fury. It was not a lot of power behind it because he wasn't all there. It was more like an arm punch, but he landed something. He was fighting back. He had enough energy to like, he was aware. He went to the corner and started yelling at Mark Bruton. He was aware of what happened. He wasn't like this in the corner, like you know what I mean? It wasn't like that. Now, don't get me wrong. I do believe the stoppage was the right thing. Wilder was falling on himself. I don't think that body shot was so devastating that it dropped him. It landed. It counts, but he was off balance. Like, we need to understand that. That is everything right there. So my argument is, if that's not going to happen again, you think his equilibrium is going to be thrown off again? I don't. Now, could he be targeted in the back of the head again? I don't know, but back of the ear shots, let's see where that goes, probably. I just don't think that's going to happen again, guys. I don't need to see it again. I mean, we saw what happened. Yeah, but you're lacking the nuances of how it went down in the rematch, right? The first fight, like Wilder knocked him down twice. I feel Fury won. I think clearly won, although I gave Wilder about 4 rounds in that fight. But I felt Fury won. I have the receipts out there for all these things, by the way. I felt Fury won. Okay, cool. I had Wilder winning the rematch. I had my reasoning for that. I was obviously wrong. I never expected like Fury to come out and blitz the dude. No, nobody did. Okay, but he comes out. He blitzed him. He put pressure on him. He landed good shots. Had a different type of fight to him. Brought a different type of fight. Caught Wilder a little off guard. Right, got Wilder on the back foot. caught him in the back of the ear, right? This spot. Everyone is concentrating on the dumb, stupid dent theory. Now he hit him back here. He went down. Wilder looked at the ref like he got hit with something he never felt before, because you got hit in the back of the head. The dude gets back up, and he's wobbly. He's not all there, Wilder. He just wasn't. After that knockdown, he was stumbling back, and he was getting beat up. And he was getting hit with flush shots. And Fury's still going to take him out. So I don't understand the confident people saying, "Oh, Fury's going to knock him out 3 rounds this time." Like I just don't know about that. I just don't know about that. He could have knocked him out when he was on wobbly legs. No, nobody believed that. I didn't believe him. I laughed at him. I say, "Yeah, okay, sure, whatever, champ. Whatever you say." So I agree with Ness that now we got to take him to his word, but I don't know. I mean, he could lie and he could do something else. You never know. Saying. So at the end of the day, guys, I just wanted to kind of throw those points out. I appreciate everybody that came through. I don't know you. I don't know if Freddie Roach is in Fury's team. I don't know. I think both guys need to go to the body a little more. That could be a killer. That can be a killer. You know, I think we just need to see it again, man. Like, now that Wilder knows that Fury can do that, now that he knows he can blitz him, I want to see it. Like I'm curious. Like, how is he going to make those adjustments? And I haven't liked anything Wilder's been saying, but I do like a lot of the things Malik Scott is saying. It's like he's in a different world sometimes, but I do like some of the things he's saying. He's saying, like, if you listen to Malik Scott, he's not talking about Glovegate. He's talking about, hey, we got to make some adjustments, and they're going to make them. And I don't want to hear, oh, well, how is he going to teach Wilder to do something? Let me tell you something. Yes, someone can teach someone with better physical attributes how to do something. That can be done. That's what Customato did with Mike Tyson. Customato couldn't physically do the things he taught Mike Tyson to do, but he could teach Mike Tyson to do them. He could do it. That is a thing. So if Malik Scott has the example I give you, sparred Wilder before and said to himself, you know what? I remember I was landing some right hands on this dude. Now I don't have the right hand Wilder has, but if Wilder landed those, good night, right? So there is things he can do, and he's always kind of de facto been part of the team. So it's not like when people say it's his debut, it really isn't. Shout out to Punch Drunk Boxing. What's up, champ? Smash the like. I appreciate the support, brother. Everybody subscribe to Punch Drunk Boxing, a.k.a. Mr. Moonshine himself. All right? Look, man, I kind of went over a lot of the things here today. I want to put some perspective for people. You know, I want to kind of let people know that don't let the Wilder extremist or even Wilder himself get to you so much that you give Wilder no credit and put a mental block on any possibilities of how Wilder could win. Right? Don't do that. Right? What matters is what he is going to do, because obviously he did switch trainers, right? He still has JD's around, but like the main dude right now is Malik Scott. Now, whether you think it's going to work or not is your opinion. That's separate. But do understand that we know both guys could hurt each other. Wilder hurt him in the first fight. Fury hurt him in the second fight. Okay? I do believe Wilder's, and it's obvious to see his equilibrium was thrown off early in the second fight. I don't think that's going to happen again. Like it's going to be a tougher fight, and it's going to be a good fight. All right? And when I ask the question, this extra time is going to give Malik Scott Wilder more time to fine tune some things, right? It can work to their benefit as well, depending on how they manage it. And they're professionals that have been doing it for a while. The GOAT says Wilder could have quit in the second fight. Some fighters are great at disguising that they quit by acting confused or angry at the stoppage, but in reality, they are relieved that the fight got stopped. You know, of course. I get you. I mean, don't get me wrong. You know what I mean? But I don't know, man. Like again, don't let the fanatics or whatever and things that have been said cloud your judgment, guys. Like to me, it's obvious that Wilder's a warrior. Like you know what I mean? Like that's obvious. It's. I do believe this dude wants to. He'll go out on his shield if he has to. He was doing it on wobbly legs. You know what I mean? So I just don't. So be ready. I saw Danny Garcia say on an interview when Ness interviewed Colbert, Danny threw out, hey, I think the fight's going the distance. I'm kind of feeling the same way. And then what's going to happen? If Fury gets tired and this dude ain't wobbly, it's going to open up the right hand. Like I'm just telling you right now, be ready for a fight. Right? Be ready for a fight is what I'm saying. Because a fight is coming. And this time he's going to be wobbly after the third round. Now he's going to come. He's going to be, like I'm telling you right now, guys, be ready for a fight. That's all I'm saying. And again, I was saying all this before Golovkin was even a thing. So anybody lurking in the shadows that publicly talks about Golovkin or whatever, right? You could take solace in this. Deontay Wilder has a legitimate shot. Not because Fury won't be able to use an egg weight or some retarded shit like that this time, but because he's the one now that's going to make adjustments and has the ability to maybe bring something to Fury doesn't expect. Okay, he's going to have the advantage of possibly bringing in the shock value here. So I'm just saying. I am just saying, man, y'all going hard on AJ. Well, what did AJ do? What the hell? What's going on over here? I'm talking about Wilder Fury. And the chat is just throwing shade at AJ all of a sudden. Oh, AJ quit. AJ's a quitter. Like, God damn, bro. Let me tell you something, man. What matters is how you come back. I've already accepted the fact that AJ is just, he is who he is, okay? I criticized him because he looked too happy after the loss to Ruiz. And all this stuff. But you know what I realized? It's who he is. You know what I mean? And it's not a bad, like the fact that he doesn't get devastated and going through a deep depression after he loses is actually a good thing. Right? It's actually a good thing if you think about it. I'm just saying. Man, people going at AJ. AJ didn't do anything. What's going on over here? They just throw shit at AJ. You know what I mean? I'm an AJ fan now, man. I'm gonna get my AJ gear. AJ all day, every day. We don't put up with none of this bullshit with AJ. I'm just saying, bro. Joshua. That's right, man. Hispanic cause and panic are gonna embrace Joshua. That's what we're gonna do. He did take the L way better. He did. You know, so hey, everyone channels energy differently. And what matters is how you channel it in the rematch. I think AJ, he just boxed well. And he took advantage of the fact that Andy was heavy as shit. Like, do you blame him? I don't. Oh, this motherfucker's heavy as fuck. I'm just going to move around the ring. Jab, jab, cross, hold, move. And I think he comfortably won the fight. What do you guys want from the guy? You know, like, I'm just saying. Antonio Joshua, embraced by HCP. He's a new HCP member, baby. That's right. All day, every day. All day, every day. Right? Gotta get an AJ oversized ring, whatever it takes. I still believe in Andy, though, man. I'm changing. I'm softening my stance on Andy. He's still in the Reynoso gym, and that's a good sign. The fact that he's still in there working, hey, props to him. I just don't know if losing that much weight is smart, though. I'm just telling you that right now. I don't know about that. As Ring IQ says, that shock absorber is gone. And I don't know that's a good thing. Now, Yura says, if AJ is a quitter, why did he keep getting up 4 times in the Ruiz fight? You're not a quitter, just bad stamina and slow recovery. You know, it's totally possible he just didn't know where the hell he was, you know? So, he did turn his back, though. But it is what it is, you know. What matters is how you bounce back. You know, that's what matters. Right? That's what matters. With that said, guys, hey, I appreciate everybody that came in, man. I'll release the schedule this weekend. Everybody enjoy your shit. Listen to the stuff also on the HCP network, iHeart, you know, Spotify, all that good stuff, all right? This is DStyleBoxing. And I'm out, guys. Saying.
Hispanics are causing panic, baby. Let's do it.
11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. What a fight! I think the winner won it. Juan, the Hispanic causing panic, Lascano.
Victory. I need a pound on the chest like Tito, man.
I got you. Hey, but the thing is that after the win, you have so much thing in your mind that you want to do. Like I've been practicing this for like the past 3 fights. I haven't done it yet. I've been practicing getting in the rope and saying, this is boxing, this is top rank. I haven't done it yet. It's just so many things.
Is mini Puerto Rico, and boy, did he make them happy and give them something to celebrate, Tim.
We wasting no time.